refresh.
Is that your phone, Mom? That's all right.
From Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, we are the North Carolina State Council of Machinists.
Activate your voice.
Activate it now.
Live from Maryland, welcome to Activate Live.
Welcome to Activate Live, the show that allows union members and all workers to activate their voices. We hope that you make your voices heard by commenting right here on this show. I'm Tanya Hutchins, coming to you live from the Machinist Union headquarters in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. We're at the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, also known as the IAM. Now, this is a very special week for the Machinist Union, and we'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later. But first, here's Communications Representative Delane Adams with the latest IAM news. Hey, Delane.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Some good stuff going on. Recently in New York City this week, 400 members of the Independent Drivers Guild got together to rally back against a bad bill that would tax drivers, basically put a $2,000 a year fee for them to drive in the city of New York. So they rallied together. You see a great picture there from that rally on the steps.
And they were all over social media. I saw them on Twitter. People were retweeting the rally and taking pictures, so this word really got out.
Yeah, and the bill would also limit them to one service. So if they were driving for Uber, they could only drive for Uber. If they were driving for Lyft, they could only drive for Lyft. And currently, the way it stands, that they can, do a variety of different services. And this would also affect the black car drivers in New York as well.
Wow, because I know a lot of them depend on all of those services to basically make a living and pay their bills, because you would see the stickers on their cars, Uber and Lyft, and I think they have Juno in New York.
Yeah, and it's hard enough, again, so to have, a bill like this to restrict a worker's freedom, something we're just trying to fight back against. And the Independent Driver Guild is an affiliate of the Machinist Union. A lot of people don't realize that. And they have over 65,000 members of the Drivers Guild.
That's right. Great organization.
So, yeah, great organization. And we're still showing support for workers who are on strike at Technocap there in West Virginia. If you're listening to this, if you're out there now, please, in the comments, on the Facebook comments, YouTube, Twitter, please show your support for the striking workers at Technocap. You see some of the pictures there. Local 818 holding strong. Again, it's a group of around 30 strikers right now. They're holding strong and trying to demand a better life. So we need to hold this company accountable and bless the families that are out there on the picket line. And again, solidarity goes out to members of Local 818 that are out there on that line right now.
That's right. We're with them.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, we are. And in California, negotiations are at an impasse for United Launch Alliance for our members. We have the 3 locals out there that represent the negotiating committee. The 3 locals come from Vandenberg, California, Cape Canaveral, Florida, as well as Decatur, Alabama. So this affects around 600 union members. You see their website; it's up there now. They're fighting over some issues now that deal with the workplace. So hopefully they can get that solved. The contract expires May 6th. And again, they've been keeping members up to date in those 3 states and doing a lot of great things with trying to fight for the best contract. So hopefully, fingers crossed that they can break through this impasse and get a great contract for people back home.
Okay, we'll keep on top of that as well.
And that's basically all we got this week. And I know you want to put on a great show this week, and you have your notes in front of you. So
yes, we do.
Be a good thing.
Well, thank you so much, Delane, for letting us know what's going on. We look forward to seeing you next week when we'll be down at the legislative conference, and we'll have more on that as well. Yeah. But we'll see you down there.
Yeah, excited to hear from the legislative department on the conference. So.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the IAM works hard to advance the interests of working families and defend members' rights. Now, solidarity at the bargaining table helps to improve our jobs, but as union members, we need to stand united and work together to stop the continued assault on working families. Well, the IAM Legislative Conference is next Monday, May 7th through May 9th in downtown Washington, D.C. And the IAM Assistant Legislative Director, Monica Silbus, is here to give us a little bit of a preview about what to expect if you've never been to the Legislative Conference. So thanks for being here, Monica.
I'm so excited to be here. It's my first live performance.
That's awesome. You're great. You know, we love seeing you at the Legislative Conference. So a lot of people already know who Monica is. She's always on Capitol Hill working hard to defend our rights. But for people who haven't been there, we have members all over the country and in Canada, but this specifically is for the United States. Why do we have a legislative conference?
There are so many reasons that we have a legislative conference, but let me just narrow it down to two. First of all, our members get to experience the legislative process and they get to learn from it. They can see what it is that they usually see on TV. They're actually practicing and doing it. And the other thing is they can see what we do every single day. How much we walk the halls of Congress, everything, the frustration that we have when we're talking with members or their staff. And, you know, sometimes we're lucky and we win some, and sometimes we don't. We lose them.
Now, some people may be wondering, why is a union involved in politics?
It's a part of it. Look, we elect our politicians. We want to hold them accountable. We elect to have a union. We elect to have a contract, so we have to be held accountable too. We have an obligation to represent these members on the Hill so that they can pass good laws, good legislation to protect them. Come on, Tanya. Our members care about taxes. They care about health care. They care about their pensions. And the only way there's going to be change is if we're right here on the Hill holding these politicians accountable.
And we care about our collective bargaining rights.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have right now 2 big labor laws that have been introduced, and we're fighting to keep them because they will really strengthen the National Labor Relations Act. That's what we need. When we have weak leaders and folks that are not carrying out what the NLRA is supposed to be about, we have to actually put bills in place to strengthen them, and that's what we're pushing for now.
Now, at the conference itself, it's 3 days. Tell us a little bit about how it's set up, like what happens in the morning, what happens in the afternoon.
It's 3 exciting days.
Okay.
First of all, it opens up on Monday, and the International President, Bob Martinez, will be the keynote speaker then. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we have speakers that come in, members of Congress. We have Leader Pelosi, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Steny Hoyer will be there. We also have the Congressman Tim Ryan, Pramila Jayapal. It's a mixed bag of members of Congress from around the country who will be addressing the crowd in the morning, and then the members will be lobbying in the afternoon.
Now, what are some of the concerns and the issues that will be discussed during the conference? Well, you mentioned a few already, you know, about why we're involved, but what else will be covered?
Well, besides the trade laws, first of all, let me just say the Machinists Union is so diverse. We've got 7 lobbyists on the Hill right now, and we have to spread out all the different sectors that we represent. And it's tough sometimes because we might have a hearing in the Senate, then we have to run over to the House and try to deal with that situation. But let me just tell you a few of the top issues. One, of course, is trade. The renegotiation of NAFTA is critical. NAFTA decimated us. We lost so many jobs. Even up to last year, I had companies, members that were training the replacement workers from Mexico. So they have to do something better. They have to renegotiate that contract to bring the jobs back here and raise the wages in Mexico. Top issue.
I think I saw a figure at one point that said we lost almost 1 million jobs.
That's correct.
And they told us that it was going to create jobs.
Right.
When they wrote it.
And those are the jobs that are accounted for. Those are the people that applied for the Trade Assistance Program, the TAA. And if they were never reported in that program, then a lot of those jobs we don't know about that were lost. So,
wow.
And you also have to remember the suppliers to the corporations that went. So you have a company who moved to Mexico Then we have all these suppliers that supplied goods and services to that company to make the product. So a lot of folks are affected. Let me give you an example. Well, anyways.
Yeah, go. Give an example.
I want to talk to you about some other issues that are important, and that's pensions. You know, defined benefit pension plans. We are pushing the Butch-Lewis Act. We're trying to make sure that our pensions are protected and secured, so when our members retire, they can retire with some dignity.
Now let's tell people what a defined benefit pension plan is, because some people don't have that type of plan. There may be some workers out there watching who really need a defined benefit pension plan.
Right, and Lauren Almaroth, who is one of our lobbyists, he's the one that handles pensions for us. Let me just make sure I go through my team. It's really important.
Okay.
We have Lauren Almaroth, who handles defense and pensions and aerospace. We have Hassan Solomon, who is our legislative director, who handles everything. He's amazing. We have Mark Taylor and David Aruka. Mark Taylor handles the railroads. David Aruka assists him with that. On the nephew side, we have Steve Lenkart and Hamad Abbas, who handle all our federal issues. But we always work together all the time. So the defined benefit pension plans are money that we invest with the company to ensure that they have a certain amount when they retire every year. Well, a lot of folks aren't going to that. They're doing the 401k now, and that's just not enough to retire with. We need security, and that's what we're fighting for.
Okay. We've covered so much, and there's just so much information before this conference next week. What do you want the legislators to know, not only when we have our members lobbying, but just when they come to the conference and they address us? What message do you want those legislators to leave with?
Well, the Machinists Union is a union to be reckoned with. I mean, they see us walking down the hall, and I'm not going to lie, sometimes they'll turn around because they don't want to face us, because we really do hold them accountable. So we want them to know that our members are on the Hill, and that's why we're all wearing these fantastic red shirts.
Nice.
That we'll all be wearing, and anybody who attends the legislative conference will be getting one of these. But we also want them to know that we're there because we care. And we are meeting with them to tell them these issues are important to us, and we want them to vote the way that it's going to help us working families.
What do you want workers to know who may think that their votes don't count? Because we always say every vote counts. What do you want those workers to know?
If you haven't been paying attention to the news, I mean, the news actually explains that to you. Look what happened in Pennsylvania with the Connor Lamb election. Look what happened in Alabama. So you look at these people just won by a margin of votes. Your vote counts. Every single vote does. And when people that don't believe in that, I mean, they probably don't believe that their union counts either. You vote on everything. And so we need to make sure that everybody gets out there, whether it's your contract, your union, your politician. You got to get out there and vote, because it really shows now in this day and age how every single vote does count.
Now, you're wearing an MNPL shirt, and it stands for Machinist Nonpartisan Political League. Nonpartisan. Now, a lot of people, there may be some myths and some misconceptions out there, but our union dues are not used for this fund. Can you just address that to make it clear that these are separate funds?
Absolutely. The Machinist Nonpartisan Political League is a PAC, a political action committee, or a fund, and members voluntarily give donations to this fund. It is illegal to use union dues for this, so no union dues are covered are in this fund. That fund is then given, donations are given to campaigns, political campaigns, for members that we support. Folks that are running for office that have made promises and guarantees that they're going to be supporting a working families agenda.
And we keep track of how they vote, right?
Absolutely we do. We have a scorecard, sister. So that's what you call hard money.
There's proof. Like, you're walking in that office like you did not vote for working families.
There's a list.
Or you did vote for working families,
right.
you know.
And then we always thank them. Then we have what's called soft money, the MMPL Educational Fund. It is legal to use union dues to educate our membership on issues and the way politicians voted and why we're supporting them one way or the other. So people have to separate the two. Hard money, money that you donate can go to political campaigns, but you cannot use illegal union dues.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to mention, Monica, before next week? Because we can remind people when the legislative conference is. We said it's Monday, May 7th to the 9th in downtown Washington, D.C., and we have members coming from all over the country?
All over the country. It's so exciting. I love to see the membership. I work with members of Congress, and I never get to see members of the union, so I'm excited for them to be there. There is a great thing we're doing at the end of the conference. On Wednesday, right after the morning speakers, we are all going to walk over to the Senate side, and we are going to participate in a rally with Senator Bernie Sanders, who will be introducing the Workplace Democracy Act, another bill that will strengthen the NLRA, and the international president will be speaking there. We're having a big conference with signs, banners.
What time does that start?
That starts at 11:30.
And where will that be?
At the Dirksen Building.
The Dirksen Building,
Yes.
11:30.
So that's exciting. And
Okay.
the last thing I'm going to leave you, which
Okay.
I was a labor educator for 15 years, and I always tell people, the machinist's birthday is coming up.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, it is.
We
It's
were just going to talk about that. Yeah, go
Ah,
ahead. Go
jump
ahead.
again.
It's okay.
So it's May 5th, and I tell members that they will never, ever forget the machinist's birthday because it falls on Cinco de Mayo.
That's right.
So raise that glass of milk and say happy birthday to the machinist.
Cheers.
And cheers to Cinco de Mayo.
All right. We'll get into that a little bit more, too, as well. So thank you so much for being here.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate it. We'll see you out there next week. And, one more thing before you go. I asked you about the legislators leaving, but after the conference, what do you want the members to take back to their locals and districts?
The reality check they're going to get when they get here. It's not about political parties, but they're going to see clearly the members that support us and the members that don't. And they need to take that back. They need to share their experience and tell members what it was really like, because that's every day for us.
That's right. Thank you, Monica. Come back anytime.
Okay, next week? No, just
Sure. If you want to, you can come back and let us know how the conference went.
Okay, that sounds great.
Thank you, Monica, so much. And again, that's the IAM Legislative Conference. It's Monday, May 7th to May 9th. It's in downtown Washington, D.C. Here you see last year there was a news conference called Keep Our Pension Promises Act. Hassan Solomon always addresses the conference. So you see his picture there. So these are some photos of past conferences that we've had. Randy Irwin from NEFI, National Federation of Federal Employees. So there we have, I'm trying to look closely. Is that Cory Booker? I got my contacts in, so I think I could see the monitor. All right, so we have Cory Booker there, has addressed us in the past. So lots of people stop by. There's Monica, who just spoke with us. So she, a lot of times, will check people in, and then she's doing a lot of the research and walking those halls of Capitol Hill to make sure that everyone's on point with protecting working families. We have people, all kinds of people from all walks of life in our union, and we want to make sure that everyone is represented. So let us know what you think. Make a comment. Join the conversation on Facebook or Twitter. On Facebook, make a comment. Twitter, hit the reply button on our stream. Let us know, have you ever been to a legislative conference before? If you could lobby your member of Congress, what would you want them to know about organizing or collective bargaining or pensions? Let us know in the comments. And we thank everyone who has been commenting so far. Teresa DeFredo, Bridget Fitzgerald joined us, Kylie Hernandez, Jim Price joined us, Andy Hounshell, Jamie Colburn. Ramon Garcia said, hey, Monica. She's still in the studio, Ramon, so I just let her know. Craig Hughes, Edmundo Osorio, fantastic. He says, hola, Sister T, Brother Delane, and hola, Monica. I'm just going to throw that in there, too. So everybody, thank you so much for commenting, and let us know what you think about the IAM legislative conference that's coming up next week. Now, Monica touched on May 5th a little bit, Cinco de Mayo, so we're going to go into it a little bit to let you know that the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers was born 130 years ago this week, May 5th, 1888 to be exact, okay? So 19 machinists met in a locomotive pit in Atlanta, Georgia, right there, and voted to form a train union at the time. Machinists at the time earned 20 to 25 cents an hour for a 10-hour day. Now, within a year, 34 locals were represented at the first machinist convention held at the Georgia State Senate chamber, and they're on the steps of the Georgia State Capitol right there. Now, delegates elected Tom Talbot as Grand Master Machinist, and they also started a monthly journal. In 1890, the first Canadian local was chartered. That's Tom Talbot right there. In Stratford, Ontario, that was the first Canadian local. In 1892, the first railroad agreement was signed with Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. In 1895, the IAM joined the American Federation of Labor, and headquarters moved to Chicago. So I think that we are just so happy to be celebrating 130 years young and still fighting strong with the Fighting Machinists. And we fight because we're fighting for workers' rights. So happy birthday, May 5th, to the Machinists Union. Our union has come a long way over the years, admitting specialists, apprentice, women, and blacks. We've won many fights for working families, but we still have a way to go. Our work is never over. So that's why it's so important for us to keep an open dialogue with each other, both union and non-union workers, to make sure that we join together to protect workers' rights, to living wages, to benefits, to safe working conditions for all. So happy birthday to the Machinists Union, which is also Cinco de Mayo, when the Mexican army defeated France in 1862. You can tell I totally love history, okay? That was the Battle of Puebla. So during the Franco-Mexican War, 1862, that was the Battle of Puebla. So it was not Mexican Independence Day. That was 50 years earlier, for all of you history buffs out there. But the date for that was September 16th. So the moral of this story is that there's a lot of history behind that date, May 5th, in both the United States and Mexico. How'd I do?
Very good.
All right, that's Teri's voice you hear. She's coming up next. Well, before we get to Teri McClendon, the Coalition of Labor Union Women, also known as CLU, holds its National Executive Board meeting and conference in the spring, and it's going on right now at the Tommy Douglas Center in Silver Spring, Maryland. The conference is called SNAP, Sisters Not Afraid of Power. And they have a rally as well that's coming up Friday. I was there yesterday and today as an alternate delegate for the IAM, along with the rest of the Machinist Union delegation. This rally Friday with CLU members is going to be noon to 1:15 p.m. down at the AFL-CIO headquarters. That's 815 16th Street Northwest. So that will be a great rally down there. We're going to have a lot of fun. To tell you a little bit about what's been going on the past 2 days with the SNAP conference, Rhonda Rogers was one of the workshop instructors who was in a class where we brushed up on parliamentary procedures and Robert's Rule of Order. If you're in union meetings, you know all about that. That's why we were going over it. We talked about constitutional responsibilities. The actual business meeting is tomorrow, when more machinists will arrive from across the country. A few are there for the past 2 days. The actual meeting starts with the National Executive Board tomorrow with the committees, but it's a really great learning environment with CLU members, meeting other CLU members, sharing stories, learning from each other, learning that different chapters have different bylaws and different interpretations of Robert's Rules of Order. There's Jackie True there on the right-hand side. So on Friday also, we are going to have an awards celebration. It's going to take place at the AFL-CIO headquarters in downtown D.C., and I think that's going to be before the rally that we just mentioned, and we'll have coverage of that award ceremony as well. So keep an eye on this page for more information, and on our Twitter feed as well. And then you can get more information on the CLU website, which is clu.org. That's CLUW.org. And then you get all the information you want. But I love that SNAP conference. SNAP. That's wonderful. They come up with the greatest acronyms for that. So if you had watched us last week, we gave you a little bit of a preview of the Workers' Memorial. Workers' Memorial Day was April 28th, which fell on a Saturday. So we did the observance on Monday down at the William W. Wimpesinger and Education Center in Hollywood, Maryland, because that's where our memorial is. So we honored our fallen members and we educated everyone in the audience about worker safety, because there are a lot of people who are injured on the job. So we have Teri McClendon joining us again 2 weeks in a row. Teri has agreed to come up and tell us a little bit about how the Workers' Memorial went. because you gave us such a great preview last week, and we were able to bring it to you live on Facebook. So we were so thankful for that, for the people across the country that were not able to be there. But how did it go? I see you have a program here.
Yes, we do. Can I show this to everyone?
Yes, you can.
This is the program that we had for the memorial. Everyone got one of these. And all the names that we called through the service are in here. They're highlighted in red, so everyone knew who they were that lost their life and were added to the memorial this year.
And you rang a bell for each name?
We did. We called the name, and then we had Arnett would chime the bell and let it resonate a little bit, and then you continue on. But we called the name for everybody that we identified our fallen members. We had 8 fallen members that we called their name, and then we had special remembrances that have been part of our union and have done a tremendous job as GLRs and business reps, and some were just members that were retirees. And also a special one for our GVP from the Southern Territory, Mark Blond, and his mother. We called her name. She was in the program this year.
And I understand he gave such a touching speech. I wasn't able to be there, but I heard about it. I was able to watch a little bit on our Facebook page.
Yes.
But there were numerous speakers there, and I think we have some pictures of the actual memorial. But tell me, how was that to hear from Mark?
It was wonderful. Well, first of all, we couldn't have asked for a better day to have the memorial on. Everything was falling into place very nicely. It was just beautiful. It was a peaceful day. The water was calm, and it was a bright sunny day. Everyone, it was really a treat for everyone to be there that day. And the first speech was done by our General Secretary Treasurer. That it was so touching. She gave us statistics and some facts, and she told a couple of stories of her relationship with people, having to do with the memorial. She lost one of her really, really dear friends this past year, Renee Cicero, with District 142, and you could tell that it really does still hurt, and everyone was just, really excited about what she had to say, and she surprised GVP Blondin with a plaque memorializing for his mom.
Wow.
And he was sitting next to me, and he's like, I'm gonna cry, kind of, It was so touching. He totally was caught off guard, wow. But it was wonderful. He said, my father is gonna appreciate this so much. So he got up, and he was, he was really emotional, but his speech was really hitting home on some of the things that our members have to deal with in, their shops. Some of the things that they're exposed to, the different hazards, and his mother was instrumental in helping get some specific legislation put in place in Washington State, where he's from. It was great, and it was really a touching speech coming from him.
And I saw we had a picture of Jim Reed, and this is Arnett Powell ringing the bell to chime after each name. And I'm just looking through the program here. There you see everyone at the front with the speakers.
At this time, our own Cornell Dunmore, who used to work here in the communications department, he was the pastor at the memorial.
Oh, that's wonderful. How fitting.
It was wonderful. He was so proud to do it, and everyone, it was, his prayers were just, they were wonderful. They're right on time. Everyone was, really enjoyed it, especially having him there.
Yeah, this wonderful poem in here which ends, I think it's by Carrie Anderson, and it says, "Those whose names have now been placed wherever they will be, a symbol that will represent our union solidarity." And it reminds you that we're all brothers and sisters. You know, a loss for one is a loss for all,
Right.
and we all feel it. So
You're right.
we're just hoping that we can prevent any other injuries or deaths on the job that we
Right.
can. That's why worker safety is so important.
You're exactly right. You know, we wish, every year we wish we wouldn't have to put another brick in that memorial. But reality is, we have been adding ever since, you know, we dedicated it in 2001. There's always bricks that are going into that. The last brick went in, or the name brick for a brick was, died on March 17th, just recently.
Of this year,
Of this
wow.
year, right.
And you know, you all always say it, whether you're dealing with apprenticeships or IAM CREST, that when you leave for work in the morning, you're thinking that you're going to come home at the end of the day, and your family thinks that as well.
Exactly.
So you can never be too safe on the job.
That's right.
And that's part of what we fight for in our collective bargaining agreements.
And, you know, like I always say, you have to be vigilant. There are things in place that should protect you from the hazards that you're exposed to on the job, but it's not to say that, you know, they're going to work for you. And it's important for us to understand that we have to always keep safety and health in mind with whatever you're doing. It's just as important as organizing, negotiations, and everything. If you're not keeping yourself safe and those that you're working with, you know, everyone, how can you work? How can you provide for your families?
Right.
So,
Well, is there anything else you'd like to mention before we move on?
it just was a really good ceremony. I'm glad that you invited me back to,
Thanks.
you know, talk about it. The members, the family members that joined us this year, all of them were raving about how wonderful the ceremony was, how wonderful everybody at the Whipping Singers Center is.
Where did they
was.
come from? Because you said they came from all over.
We had 6 folks that came from the Barnett, Sammy Barnett's family, that came from Wichita, Kansas. We had 2 that came from San Diego to honor Virginia Cobb, and then we had just lost my.
That's okay. Happens to
We
me all the
had
time.
a couple more that came in also, but usually they come from all over the country to attend the memorial if they can possibly make it, which makes it that much better. More, it makes more, you know, everyone appreciates it a little bit more when they see the people that come to actually come to memorial. One thing I would like to say that Angel did. She put a rose on all the chairs of the guests that came this year, and it was such a wonderful, you know, thing to do. The guests really appreciated that, and the roses that we put on the bricks, they were raving about that, how important it was and how much they appreciated it.
Well, we appreciate the IAM Safety and Health Department and IAM CREST for organizing this every year. So thank you as well.
It's our honor.
And thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Okay, Teri McClendon for IAM Safety and Health and IAM CREST. Well, you two can join the conversation. Make sure that you comment and let us know how you feel about safety on the job and Workers' Memorial Day. We have some comments here. Teresa DeFredo is talking about solidarity and strong women. I keep refreshing my screen so that I can make sure that I'm getting everybody's comments on here. So I'm going to refresh it one more time to make sure that I have the latest comments. And I'm going to, here we go. Lois Williams, greetings from IMAW Local Lodge 850 in Oklahoma City. So thank you there. Teresa DeFredo, she was saying Bernie, Bernie when Monica was on earlier because we talked about a news conference that's going to take place next week and union members are going to be there. So we see the solidarity. Thank you so much for your comments. Teresa DeFredo, Lois Williams, we appreciate it. Jim Reed says hola. So keep the comments coming, especially when it has to do with safety and health, okay? So let us know what you think. So at the end of the show, we always like to show you our calendars to let you know what's going on, any upcoming meetings, any upcoming classes. We'd like to give a shout out to the political education class that's going on right now at the William W. Wimpesinger Education and Technology Center in Hollywood, Maryland. May 6th to the 11th, we'll have 3 classes going on: the Young Workers Program, the Communicators class, and the Leadership class. June 10th to the 15th will be our Human Rights Program, so mark your calendars for that. And then we will have a special edition of Activate Live next week. That's Thursday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that would be 4 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll have all of the classes in our audience. So that'll be a really great show, so just keep that in mind. So we'll have that live. Also on the calendar, in terms of our meetings with our councils, June 1st through the 3rd, Ontario Provincial Council of Machinists will take place in Kingston, Ontario. June 4th through the 6th, the Pennsylvania State Council of Machinists will take place in York, Pennsylvania. And June 9th, the 2nd Maine Machinist Conference will take place in Portland, Maine. I'm going to be there along with Joe Heckman. We're going to have a live show there, so we're taking the show on the road. So there you go. We have lots more. Don't forget, next week, May 7th to the 9th, actually, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, is the IAM Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C., right downtown near Capitol Hill. June 1st to the 3rd, we have the Western Territories Staff Conference in Portland, Oregon. July 24th to the 26th is the TCU IAM Convention in Las Vegas. And moving on to August 12th to the 17th is the IAM Safety and Health Conference down at the Wimpesinger Center in Hollywood, Maryland. September 11th to the 14th is the IAM Aerospace Conference, and that takes place in Fort Worth, Texas. So we know that was a lot to remember. If you are a photographer and you love taking pictures of union members or in your shop, showing union members at work, enter our photo contest this year. The deadline for that is June 1st. So grab a pen, mark your calendar. June 1st is the deadline. You do not have to be a professional photographer. Just see if you can capture a machinist union member or a NEFI member or a TCU member working on the job, doing what we do best. Enter that contest. So you have until June 1st to enter. Just go to our website, goiam.org, for more information. That's www.goiam.org, and that's also where you can sign up for iMail. So this is a shot of our website, our homepage, and that top bar there where it says sign up for iMail, that changes, but you can also use see, it's switching right there. Get information on free college, which is one of our benefits, information on Activate Live. So we call that the slider. And there's information there. Also at the top menu, you can also find, I think while I have Monica sitting here, it's reminding me that we have the IAM Activist Center down on the lower right there in blue. So we try to keep you up to date on all of our action alerts as well. All of our news items you can scroll down to those. And if you miss any of our videos, they're always at the bottom of the page under latest videos. There's always at least 4 there. So you see the 4 most recent videos there under latest videos. So have at it. Go visit our website if you haven't been there recently. So I'm trying to think. Did I forget anything, Joe? Joe's over here keeping me on tap. We're good. All right. So that is it for this edition of Activate Live. Be sure to join us next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. If you like what you've heard or seen, please share this video. We appreciate it. And thank you for all the comments. Keep them coming. Even if you're a replay viewer, we have a lot of people that aren't able to watch us at 3 p.m. Eastern, so they watch it when they get home or off work, even the next day. But you can still comment. Let us know what you think about safety and health. Let us know what you think about legislative issues and how important it is to make our voices heard and to make sure that every vote counts. So we are going to leave you now with photos of our fallen IAM members who we have remembered this past Monday during the Workers' Memorial Day observance that we had at the Wimpesinger Center.